In the 80s, that was my time. Rebecca got me a Benetton shirt. That was like an old school vintage Benetton shirt.
They grow up when you're not looking. One minute you're watching a goofy, lovable Jerry O'Connell sprint through a desert in Kangaroo Jack. The next, he's standing in his driveway in a suit, kissing his daughter on the cheek as she heads out in a cocktail dress for homecoming. The photo is sweet, simple, and a little brutal, because in one click you can see the past tense forming. Little hands turning into manicured nails, carpools turning into car keys. Jerry tried to play it cool with a caption, "You can leave now, Dad." But the smile in that picture says everything. The twins are 16, the moment is real, and he's not ready to let go. Not completely. The internet did what the internet does. Zoomed in on the dresses, dropped 1,000 heart emojis, and asked the same question out loud. When did they get so grown? Even Jerry's friends chimed in. But the real story isn't the lighting or the shoes or the backdrop of a perfectly normal suburban Saturday. The real story is what fathers do when the kids they used to carry are suddenly taller, busier, and, in the most teenage way possible, slightly allergic to their parents' presence. But that was only the beginning. Jerry has been hilariously honest about the teenage phase. On The Talk, he said what plenty of dads think but rarely say on TV. The kids prefer mom. He laughed through it, because that's Jerry's style. But the sentiment hits. My kids like being with my wife. They don't like being with me. It's funny because it's familiar. If you've ever been a teenager, you know exactly what he means. If you've ever raised one, you recognize the soundtrack. The bedroom door closing, the text bubbles floating, the friends who apparently speak a language you don't. It's not a rejection of love. It's a transition of orbit. They're not drifting away. They're just spinning around the sun on their own path for the first time. And what he said next changed the tone. He shared a line that a buddy told him, a line that sticks to the ribs. They're rude to you because they trust you the most. Think about that. The eye rolls, the sarcasm, the "Dad, stop." That's safety disguised as teenage static. It's approval they won't say out loud. To teens, home is where you can try a feeling on and leave it on the floor. To a parent, home is where you hold the feeling in your hands and say, "Okay, I see it. Keep going." Jerry gets it. He knows it's not personal, even when it feels personal. That's why the homecoming photo hits. It's a dad staying in the frame even as the frame is changing. But it isn't all size and door frames. There's something really endearing about Jerry in coach mode. He once joked that he's okay at acting, and that the only thing he can truly pass down is how to deliver a line. That humility has bite. Imagine being the kid asking for help with a school musical and your coach is your dad, who's been in movies and TV since he was a kid himself. That's not just instruction. That's muscle memory. He's not lecturing from a chair. He's sliding into the booth at a diner, putting a script next to a milkshake and saying, "Try it like this." He's turning performance into practice, craft into comfort. No matter how busy the world gets, the booth is still your stage. But there's another layer. Parenting in the public eye means you can't just be present. You have to be intentional. What do you share? What stays inside the house? Jerry has always had a gift for that line. He shares enough to make you feel like you know him, then pulls back before it turns into a spectacle. That's not just media savvy. That's parenting savvy. When your kids are 16, the story is theirs. You can stand next to them in the photo. You can hit post, but you can't speak for them. You can't edit their life in post-production. And yet, he's still the same Jerry who can diffuse tension faster than a fire extinguisher. When teenagers are involved, humor is rocket fuel. A silly caption covers a messy reality with warmth. The joke says, "I get it. I'm not cool. I'm still going to try." That is actually what adolescence needs most. Parents who can handle a little embarrassment without turning it into a sermon. Parents who can be the punchline and still drive the car. Parents who can be left on read and still be on call. Fans commented the obvious. The twins are gorgeous and grown. But Jerry's smile made people linger. There's a little grief inside every proud parent smile at 16. It's the grief of a graduation you can't put a date on. You're not losing a child. You're gaining a version of them you can't chaperone. That takes practice, maybe more practice than any line reading. Because you have to stop fixing and start witnessing. You have to love the person showing up, not the person you're trying to protect from 2019. And right there is the tender contradiction. The "leave now." Dad, bravado, and the quiet hope that he'll still be there when the night's over. It's the reason kids text home with just one word. It's the reason a front porch light feels like a hug. It's the reason the best parenting rarely trends. It just repeats. Ride, wait, smile, ask one question, listen to the answer longer than you want to. Repeat. But let's rewind for a second. Jerry O'Connell knows what growing up on camera looks like. He went from Stand By Me to leading man charm to daytime TV with the ease of someone who survived the awkward middle and learned to laugh at it. That's not just a resume. That's credibility with teenagers who sense authenticity, like a shark senses a wave. You can tell them not to worry, or you can show them you've made it through storms they can't imagine. Jerry's done both. If you watch him interact with his kids, even in a brief moment like that homecoming photo, you can see a guy who knows his job isn't to be perfect. His job is to be persistent. Rebecca's version of persistence has its own edge. She has navigated the modeling world, acting, franchise fandoms, interviews, and internet opinions with a mix of elegance and steel. For two girls growing into their skin in an era of ruthless comparison, that example matters. Confidence that doesn't need a press release. Work that doesn't wait for permission. Boundaries that don't announce themselves, they simply hold. In a world where everyone is asking young women to be everything at once, it helps to watch a mother who's already learned the art of being enough. And if you listen closely to Jerry, you can hear the parent who's prepared for both answers. If they jump in, he's got notes, jokes, and a supportive ride. If they choose something else, he's got notes, jokes, and a supportive ride. The destination changes. The dad doesn't. It's easy to reduce celebrity parents to caricatures. But nights like this pull the curtain and reveal something universal. Two parents who have lived big public lives are still measured by the smallest, quietest successes. Kids who feel safe enough to roll their eyes, brave enough to face a dance floor, kind enough to share a smile for the camera, and grounded enough to come home. And to the twins, Charlie and Dolly, tonight is yours. There will be new nights, better dresses, messier mascara, bigger dances, smaller rooms where the stakes feel enormous. Keep the photo. Keep the caption. Keep the part of you that knows a joke can make anything lighter, and a kiss on the cheek is a message in a language you'll never forget. You are growing up in public and in private at the same time. That's not easy. But with parents who understand that love looks like letting go and staying close, you've got the best of both worlds. The comments said it best without meaning to. OMG, so cute. They meant the girls. But the cutest thing in that photo might be the relationship. A dad just other side of sappy. A pair of daughters who pretend not to need it and accept it anyway. A moment where the future takes one step forward and the past takes one step back without leaving. All three in the same frame, smiling like they've practiced this their whole lives. Because they have. So yes, the twins look grown. That's the point. Growing up is the goal. Looking grown is the costume change. The heart inside the dress is still the same. And the man kissing his daughter on the cheek is still the same kid from Stand By Me, now standing by the people who matter most. That's the plot twist life gives you if you stick around long enough. You become someone's favorite character without ever auditioning. Before we go, one last thought. The internet loves certainty, labels, takes, instant analysis. But families run on the opposite fuel. They run on mystery, on patience, on a kind of faith that says, we don't know what happens next, but we know how we'll handle it. Jerry and Rebecca have that in spades. Not because they're perfect, but because they're present. The twins have what they need because their parents keep showing up. In diners with scripts, on driveways with jokes, in doorways with hands that wave and wait. So when you see that homecoming picture float past again, see the whole story inside it. See the years leading up to it and the years waiting after it. See the resilience it takes to raise kids in the open without turning them into a product. See the gentleness it takes to back up just enough to fit the dress in the frame and still be close enough for a kiss. See the love that makes room for eye rolls, for laughter, for independence, for return. Because growing up is not the end of a family story. It's the sequel. And this one looks like it already has the perfect cast.